And welcome back, and we're going to try and see if we can get through that door to continue through the doghouse and continue through the game.
You were saying in the house, by the way, your theory, and then you didn't expand.
So what I think they've done is I think they designed the game around a certain scale, and what they discovered is that the Harry that they were drawn on screen was too big.
Took up too much room.
Took up too much screen estate, took up too much room, looked too big on screen, obscured what you were supposed to be able to see. Because if you notice, Harry is very rarely in the exact centre of the screen, he's usually off-centre slightly, so you can see past him. So what I think they did is, instead of changing the camera field of view so it can take more in, or any of the other methods, what they did was they simply downscaled all of the characters in the game. So they downscaled the dogs, downscaled the birds, downscaled, most importantly, Harry, and left everything else the same. And that's really the only way you can explain why, in a game where they seem to have quite good attention to detail, and while you're the right size comparative to the other characters, you're not the right size compared to the world. And I think it's the only way you can really explain that. It also explains why the roads are so enormously wide. I mean, pay attention to it the next time you see it. They're really wide.
For all the really wide and boring roads, there is actually quite a lot of detail in the streets still, I think. There's signs you can read and everything. Got a dog's head. Someone's been playing basketball with it.
Well, that's the implication, yeah.
We've got our second key, which is the key of the woodman.
What was the first key?
The lion.
The lion. Oh, yes, here we go. So we've got the lion, and the other one, the key of woodman. This is in reference to the Wizard of Oz.
So I think I've said it before, I think that one could have totally been multi-use. Because I get the impression, like, wolf being murdered, woodman, Little Red Riding Hood, but Wizard of Oz, apparently.
Well, I remember Little Red Riding Hood when the lion comes in.
Yeah.
There's no lion.
I said about the wolf and the woodman, nothing to do with the lion.
Well, if you think about it, though, the grandmother was lying in the bed.
Yes.
Sorry.
And I think this is our final key. And we get another bonus pickup. I think each key location has had a bonus pickup, which is good.
Well, I love the scarecrow key here. I love the view, actually. I love the way they've got the ends of the roads, which are just
they're just
gone.
sort of broken away and pulling apart. Very dangerous.
But you can still see, the trees and the lampposts sticking out of it.
Yeah. It's very fake, false danger in Silent Hill 1. You can't actually fall off anything. Unlike, I think in Silent Hill 3 there are lots of places you can fall off.
In the easiest difficulty setting you can't. In the normal you kind of catch yourself before you fall off the end. In the hardest difficulty level you just kind of flop and fall down if you stay on the edge for a little bit too long. So yes, it's full of direction at the beginning. We know exactly where we're going. The clues are reasonably obvious.
They're quite simple.
Although the first time I did have a little bit of trouble spotting the, you know where you find the dog's head.
Alright.
I did find a little bit of trouble
actually
there.
seeing that it was a thing you could go into. I take it you mean.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that one's persistent.
Yes, we've made it back to the doghouse, and then we go into the doghouse.
And we can unlock the door with our newly acquired keys. Key of Lion, and then Woodman, and Scarecrow.
And now we discover why the keys are called the keys for Eclipse, because they create the eclipse in the game and make it go dark. It is, of course, wickedly atmospheric.
You can kind of see why those people who lived in the house had 3 locks on their doors. Opening your back door seems to make it turn into night. And we can now get to the school.
Which is, of course, the whole purpose of going through there.
And again, you can see all the snow. Oh, I suppose the ash, it could be hitting the ground.
No, it's snow. It says it's snow later.
Yeah, they make it ash in the film. Yes, we're going to Midwich School. That's where the note paper told us to go.
Although he's deviated to see what's over here.
To see if there's anything interesting, yeah.
Exploration is good. It does, as you can see, it does reward you sometimes.
There's not actually too many dangerous enemies either.
You'll notice there's a little bit of pop in here. That's partially to do with the way we're running the game. This is emulated.
Yeah, because you can't really notice it when the fog's on, because the fog kind of covers it up a bit more.
But it does look better than it does running on the PlayStation hardware or the PS2 or the PS3 hardware. Mostly because you sort of get a better gradient and sort of richer colours. Things like that.
I think we're nearly there. Because the hedges are around the school.
Yes, there'll be a path to the right that leads to the sewer, and then after that is the school.
It's quite a trek in a way. All that zigging and zagging to avoid being smushed to death in the head.
You can turn your torch off, and supposedly this makes it more difficult for the other creatures to see you, but I don't think it makes a massive change.
In the first one, no, I don't remember it making much of a difference. Because it does in the second one.
So I generally just do what Scotty is doing, just run there.
Just leave it on anyway, yeah. We're now approaching the school. Quick dodge there of some more enemies. Quite like that designer lens flare, as it were. What a school map.
Schools, of course, being a staple of the Silent Hill series and horror films in general, really.
List of teachers. I think this is quite clue heavy at the beginning. It tells you a lot of things, lots of bits of paper to read.
Written in blood, of course.
The alchemy laboratory.
Yes, we have times and clues. The times correspond to the clock tower.
Which is in the courtyardy place.
And the clues correspond to where you will go to get medallions which fit onto the clock. All written in blood. The register that we saw before with the 3 names, coincidentally, well, it's not really a coincidence, it's the last names of the members of Sonic Youth.
Picture of a doll. Certainly in bad taste.
Harry Mason, art critic.
Yes.
Yes, we'll see more of that later. So keep that in mind.
Door door's locked. The school is quite bad, I suppose, in a way. So lots of locked doors. Because you go round in a big circle, but you unlock them all from the other side.
I hate these monsters.
Oh, the little... Are they called grey children?
Yes.
Mm.
Usually get possibly a few more bullets than is strictly needed to kill them.
And we've got the lovely sound of the courtyard, which always makes you feel very uncomfortable.
On edge, definitely.
Hands are stopped at 10. 10 o'clock was the alchemy laboratory in the clothes. Yes, my memory is that good.
And that's all we have time for.